Hey guys, how you doing? Can you let me know in the chat if you've got me back up and on video, please? That would be fantastic.
When all the scores are in, let me know and I want to draw.
Oh, God damn it. In terms of peak, no. So there is another headset, but that should be working. But whatever's going on, I don't know.
Have you got another set of headphones or not?
No.
If I go and buy a headset mic,
No.
you can't connect it.
The sound card only takes one, which is annoying. I wish it did. That's the stream.
So that will work. So I can talk on that, and I just need to.
So why this isn't working, I don't know. Hold on, It's not detecting that microphone. Probably because that microphone is not connected. Hey guys. Okay, so you can hear me in that mic. I know it's a little bit quiet, but hopefully you can hear that okay. There we go. Hey guys, can you pop in the chat? Let me know that everything's working.
Is there any better report about the or as we
Let's see how we're doing. I think we are up and running. Just get things sorted. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Can you just chat away for a minute? I need to sort of like stuff. But that should be. Take here and see. I like winning.
I am reliably informed by Nick that you can all hear and see the board, which obviously nothing's happening at the moment. So hopefully everything should be up and running for next round. Apologies about the difficulties last round. So if this is working well, if you guys could tell your friends, post everywhere that it's now actually functional, we'll see if we get a few more people watching. As soon as we know what's going on in the next round, we'll let you know. Don't really have a full idea about the results, but I know that TNX won 2 games and lost 2. I don't know if Lloyd explained the system, but basically, sort of in simple terms, there's 4 tournaments going on at once, and it's just the combined results of the team members across those tournaments that will win the day. The only wrinkle is that each player is allowed to nominate 1 game in the day as their bounty game, and then if they win that, they get double points for the win. And each team can only have 1 bounty active per round. So for instance, in the first round, Dimitri played his bounty and won. So TNX are on 2 wins, 2 losses, but they have 3 points because of the double win from Dimitri. 186th, contrary to what I was telling you earlier, Andrew and Phil managed to turn it round. Both won their games, Phil having played his bounty. Alex Burt won his, and Joel was very unlucky in the final round. going into the final round with 2 full health Jedi versus 1 full defender and 1 half defender up on points, and then got both defended both Jedi halved in the final round of firing. One of the defenders without offensive mods. So a bit tricky, but lost on points at the end. So 186 Squadron are 4 and 1 because of the double win from Phil. And that's all I know about really from a team point of view. But as we get into the second round, I think we'll get a clearer idea of what's going on, and we can let you know. How's the connection now, guys? Can you let me know in the chat? Looks like Twitch might be working. Anyone on YouTube, let me know if that is too. I think that first match, really interesting list from Tom. When I initially walked in, sat down, it seemed like madness to not having snare on Sun, but actually moving last, he's going to know whether it's safe to track to himself or not, and obviously his ability is still going to proc off all the lower initiative guys who are all handing out tractor beams. But it did look like a close game, so the jury's still out on whether the Nantex are too good, not good enough, or maybe just right.
What's on my starting matrix?
So we need to, once everybody is back in, let's give it another 3 minutes.
Just going to mute the mic a bit for a sec, but we'll be back with you at the start of round 2. It's good. I've muted it just because I've run out of things to say, but I'll be back on in a sec. I was just checking it's working, and it looks like it is. Oh, that's fine. That's cool. Right, you need a chair. I think you should get a chair. That's alright, man. Yeah, we can fit 3 in, that's fine. Cool. We'll ask the team captains to come and get the official cards, and we'll ask them who hasn't picked the squadron. Phil, how are some of the squads doing? So I know how we're doing. Oh, is this results? Pairings. Nice. Lloyd, do you know who we're having next round? Do you know who we're having on stream? The official ones are right. Okay, I'm back. What we're going to do during the day is have a bit of mix of lists for you, but our main focus is going to be to get at least one match from each squad that's here, so all the squads get some airtime. Right, how do we do this then? First challenge of the day here. Well, I think second thing. I'm not sure that I actually managed to mute the mic, so you might have heard me talking, but I don't think I swore, so we're okay. So my first challenge of the day is to get the lists up on this thing. For anyone who's not streamed, this looks far more complicated than I imagined it would.
So we have sound. We are almost ready to go with round 2. We have Paul joining me now on audio, and I will turn his audio on so he can speak to you.
I will not be silenced. Oh, okay. Hi, Rob.
He will not be silenced, but he might massively be too loud for the microphone. We'll see how it goes. We
So,
should
yeah.
hopefully have video all the way through this round. We're going to try our best to continuously talk over each other and over each other. We'll see how we go.
This is going to be nothing but consummately professional.
So Ed is running the 2 new Y-Wings that were requested on stream. So Luke, this is just for you. We have Matchstick and Broadside. And assuming if our internet is working well enough, we can pull up the cards and show you what they look like. Yes.
We can show you what they look like, but we cannot see the tiny, tiny
We can
cards.
see them at about third actual size.
So Broadside gets while he performs a turret arc attack, if his turret arc indicator is in either of his side arcs, he gets to change one blank result to a focus result. So he's going to be rolling around taking a lot of focuses. And he interacts quite nicely with Matchstick. His Matchstick's ability is that while he's performing primary or turret attacks, he gets to re-roll an attack dice for each red token he has. So for those of you who are not aware, and that included me when I first read the card, the important thing about that is target locks are red tokens, and in 2.0 you can lock friendly ships. So Broadside, who doesn't need rerolls because he generates them without the target lock, can target lock Matchstick at the beginning of the game, leave it there all game, and Matchstick's going to have at least that reroll for the entire game.
Yeah, you'd expect that Ed will open with Wolf and Clover and also target locking him, and just having 3. Obviously, he can take them off if he needs to as the game goes on, but if he doesn't, it sits there with 3 rerolls every time.
And the rest of the list, it's just a kind of fairly beefy rebel list by the looks of things. Obviously, Wolf.
It's the classic way to build the Galactic Republic. You take 4 ships that are worth about 50 points each and put them together.
So yeah, Wolf rolling around. I found playing against him and playing with him, it's quite hard to get that sort of front back ability working nicely, but we'll see how Ed does. Probably a lot better than I would. And then Pro Calibrated, it's kind of going to be an annoyance really. Where are we with bids?
Ed is running at 200. Joel has the bid, so I suspect the player is going to be running before everything.
Yeah, so Play may struggle slightly in this match to line up that calibrated bullseye. Maybe something that Joel can look to victimise a little bit and get a bit of an advantage. But there's going to be, conversely, there's going to be a lot of arcs for Joel to dodge. Run a fair few.
Is it required that I make the joke that there's only 1 arc for him to dodge? Paul is already rolling his eyes. We've not started the timer, and I've already got him rolling his eyes at me.
So I've run variations of the double Jedi list for a bit, and the Jedi are incredibly strong, but the one thing I think that keeps them fair is they do take damage, particularly Anakin with that 7B title. You get enough ships firing at him, or even 1 lucky roll, and he can be at half and all of a sudden you're in trouble. And he's got the regen, but having to disengage those 2 turns to get back above does hurt.
And also, Joel is running 1 new card. He's running Foresight on Obi-Wan Kenobi, which is Jedi Snapshot. So Bullseye Arc, range 1 to 3? I can't see it. Is it 1 to 2?
1 to 3. 1 to 3.
Bullseye Arc 2-die attack. When somebody moves across you, spend a force and you may change a focus roll to a hit with no other modifications.
So probably slightly more difficult to prop. That bullseye is going to be less area on the table than the range 2 from Snapshot.
And of course, it's going to be moving into it with perfect information, right? He'll see where everyone is every time.
Yeah. But you do get that mini mod on it, which the Snapshot prevents, and it's probably in this list just going to be an area control thing. So Joel can line that up and have a fairly sort of good idea that Ed's going to be trying to avoid that bullseye when he moves in the next turn.
So Ollie is asking the chat, should Foresight be on Clone? No, it is definitely on Joel's Obi-Wan Kenobi. Ed is running at 200 points.
All bounties and Phantom Menace is done? Yeah? Okay. Can't believe you did that. I'm not sorry.
So you probably heard Dimitri there, who's running the tournament today, just checking with everyone. So we have two cards that people can play. One is the Phantom Menace we mentioned last round. So you can, if you want, every player has a Phantom Menace card that they can submit. And if they don't like their pairing, they can swap out of their pairing and swap with one of their squad mates to move to their pool and play their game instead. So I think in this round, Ashok from Mug Squadron played his, and he is swapping with Matt also in his squadron. So if you're looking on tabletop, those two pairings will have swapped around.
Oh, nice! I didn't know they were doing that. That's fun.
There's also a bounty card, which I sort of followed, but Dimitri is going to come and explain later. I think, actually, you might know better than I do.
Yeah, from speaking to Phil, who played his last round, I think you just get another win if you win your game that round. I've explained to the guys on the chat already, but each player is allowed to play it once per in the day, and each team is only allowed to play one per round. So 4 rounds, 4 players.
So
everyone should be playing one.
Yeah. Also 6 rounds.
1 minute, we'll
Oh, 6
start.
rounds. Okay, fine.
So
Do
we
both
have-
sides of the Phantom Menace have to agree to it, or can you just throw your friend under
Just
the
throw your
bus?
teammate under the bus, yeah. You're like, oh, I've drawn a whole bunch of Upsilons. You can have this. So we see 4 gas clouds here, which means at least 2 players brought too many gas clouds.
Yeah, Lois and I are the sole members of the Gas Clouds Are Bad X-Wing
Hey
Club.
everyone, clock is on now.
So then we're off. So we'll see, set up in opposite corners. Joel doing something funky facing down the edge of the board. And can you see his third ship?
Yeah, so he's got Rick in the very top corner facing left towards the top left-hand corner as you look at it. And he has Obi-Wan at 45 degrees just behind him, so...
I think everyone's just straight down the board edge. We can
you
see
can
the
see
top
it,
of
yeah.
him there. So yeah, so
I
Rick
think it was
is
at 45 degrees, that was what was throwing me off.
Rick is just off the top of the screen there, facing along the board edge, and I'm sure we'll be coming into view soon. Ed can see him, so everything is fair.
So Ed opening with a Proto-Republic, Proto-Rebel 1 forward opening. And then has to adjust for Poe, because Poe doesn't have a 1 forward. So does the next shortest manoeuvring down. And here go the target locks moving on to
Matchstick.
right? It's hard to tell because the ships look alike, but also the pilots look alike.
So I would expect that we're going to see a relatively cagey opening from Ed. He really wants to sort of keep the squad close, I think. He can create a large area of the board that have multiple firing arcs facing at them and make it tricky for Joel to approach.
Yeah, it's a lot of beef for him to approach into, and if he gets it wrong, there's a lot of shots coming back, and a lot of them are pretty well modded.
Yeah.
All of the ships are able to mod their own dice pretty consistently, and as you said, the things that the Delta 7s don't want to be doing is taking a lot of fire.
I don't know how you guys in the chat feel, but my gut feel is that list matchup wise, Ed's slightly ahead. I mean, either could win, obviously at this stage, but
Or he
feels
could lose, those are his options for.
but I feel
Secondary role of the round.
Joel's going to have to play better, whereas Ed can just play a solid game and make it difficult for
Yeah,
him.
absolutely. Yeah, all of the blend of execution is on Joel here. His ships are fragile, high value. One turn it can easily swing against him. But he's also, like, I've seen Joel a number of times win games like this, and I saw him recently play against the Sinker Swarm, where he played it, well, I would say just about perfectly, and ended up with a game which hadn't taken, I think, maybe 1 shield the entire game, and had taken 3 or 4 ships off the table. So he's got the list, he's got the ability to do it. It's now just whether he can put it in practice. I think honestly the biggest hurdle for him is going to be where these rocks are. I don't like that 2 of the debris are out of the way. They're his main thing to shepherd those Republic ships around and put them where he needs them to be, and they're out in a corner away from him. And it looks like Anakin is already coming past them.
Yeah, I think. So I played last weekend with my Anakin Rick list, and first round lost to a Sinker Swarm, and after the tournament, one of the TNX guys was kind enough to stick around, play a practice game with me, and I switched my gas clouds, which I had been running, for the largest rocks, and it makes a huge difference versus these sort of Republic beef lists. I think knowing where you can go and having their options limited, knowing that they can't turn in this turn, is huge for being able to approach them. So I agree with you entirely that there's big wide open spaces of the board, and the bits that aren't open are full of next to meaningless.
Yeah, especially when so many of the mods in this list are passive.
Yeah.
Right? All of the clones don't need tokens, don't need actions to mod their dice. It's worth noting, just because we still can't see it in the rig, I think one forwarded just along the top of the board edge.
Joel risking not getting the 3 of 8 this turn.
Once again, Plo just sinking in behind. I wonder if Ed's plan is going to be to try and whittle away a little bit before Plo gets too involved. Plo is his ace, but in this game where he's out initiative, maybe less so. Maybe he's more used as a blocker potentially.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's not a bad idea, kind of hanging him back a bit, not letting Joel focus him too much in the opening, soak up a bit of damage with the chunkier guys. Yeah, black one in the chat there. I think that's a good assessment. We'll see how it goes.
Black one, of course, is Dom from Firestorm. So
Oh, is he?
knows
Okay.
more than a little bit about how to play aces.
Dom not here today.
Dom did not make the cut for Firestorm. Only the top 4 made it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Which is why you and I are here commentating. So I was told I was only 31 places short of making the top 4 for our squadron. So nearly.
I was 32. So maybe some early fire here.
So it looks like
Slightly dodgy measuring going on.
Probably doesn't have bullseye. So it's going to be 2 die range 3 attack. Oh, just taking a lock. Sorry. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Anakin hasn't moved yet.
So, always nice getting an early unanswered shot, but range 3 through a gas cloud with a 2 dice gun. Really not expecting anything to happen here.
Yeah, I think you're surprised if he spends the lock this time, right? It's just prepping for future rounds.
Yeah.
Just seeing if we can load our dice cam up so we can give you dice results this time, but it doesn't look like it wants to cooperate. I'm mostly just clicking buttons in the hope that it works.
Either way, you're going to get a dice cam or...
I think we have a tiny dice cam here. Click things, they might go wrong. I'm going to stop clicking things. We may or may not have a dice cam. It might be tiny.
If someone out there in internet land can zoom in on the dice cam and let us know what's going on, that'd be lovely.
Dom says he is watching us while entering his parents' garage, which I think is a weird euphemism. I'm not sure. I'm just going to move on.
Yeah. I'm trying not to swear. I think we can...
I was very proud of myself. I don't think I swore in round 1. I did congratulate myself 6 minutes in.
I mean, you've got to take wins where you can get them, right?
Absolutely, and I don't get them on the table. So.
Lloyd being self-deprecating there, somehow has managed to win the last 3 tournaments he went to. So I think a reasonable approach here from Joel. Everything a bit clumped together at this stage, but staying clear of most of Ed's list seems like a good idea. Next turn, he's going to get a bit up close and personal with Wolf, but probably won't take too many shots from the rest of the list. Not sure which that top Y-wing is, but it could swing in with a 3 hard.
Let's do a rules question for you, live on air. Ketsu versus Tokyo Mux.
Yeah.
So Ketsu at the start of the activation phase.
Is this about the activity queue?
I mean, it may or may not be. Tokyo makes a ship pilot skill 0.
Yep.
Ketsu at the start of the round assigns a track to me.
Yeah.
Which of those happens first?
So is that start of the combat
The
phase?
writing on both is the same. Let's have a look at the cards. Feel free to join us in the chat for rules bingo.
So it's not a full phase of the game; it's a part of the phase. So there's a full phase, like the whatever the drop bomb phase is called. Then you go in initiative order. If it's a timing window within a phase, you go on first player, then second player, and if either of those players has multiple things that can trigger, they get to choose, I believe.
So they are both at the start of the engagement phase. So you are saying it will be player 1 happens first and then player 2?
Yeah.
Cool. Unless the chat massively disagrees, we're going to carry on.
Hi Chris, joining us in chat there. Yeah, I'm going to try and not say the words ability queue too many times today. I'm sure, much like the rest of the world, the 186th chat has talked about nothing else for 2 days, and basically, we don't know how it works. But you are correct. Both abilities enter at the same time, and then they're resolved in player order. Lloyd rejoining us, I'm going to reiterate that for his benefit. Dom makes a good point. It does reference the ability queue in that they both have to be legal and trigger.
You said you weren't going to say
at
that.
the big, yeah, no, I know. At the same point, but then they would resolve in player order. We think.
Not initiative order?
No. Okay. I think player order.
Let's get this. There are multiple, like, between you, Dom, and I, we've got literally thousands of games under our belt. They're all just like, oh man, rules. I've still not had the caffeine for the
also, God, this streaming thing is hard. One rules question, and I basically not looked at the screen. I guess no damage was done that turn. Doesn't look like there's any shields off, so I'm pretty confident in that. And this will be the key turn. Can Joel kind of get in there, do some damage to Wolf, and then get out before the rest of the list arrives? Matchstick there, moving seconds as that more inboard Y-wing. I think the turret arc is pointing forwards at this point.
We would be able to give you better table views, but there is a 5-foot high Pokemon stand in our way, which is really helping. It does mean that Ed doesn't have to listen to our commentary quite so much, so he at least gets that benefit.
Ed, do a flip. So then we've got our first. I wonder if that's Joel's gas cloud that he's just ignored and ploughed through. That's quite a scary position for Joel, for Wolf to be in. It's going to be, if he's come into the middle of the board, he'll be able to dodge that arc quite nicely. But I don't know if he will. I personally would have been skirting up the side of the board to.
Yeah, I think you've got to anticipate the Jedi are going to be turning around and trying to get around. But if they haven't, if they do get this, then he has a chance to get all 3 arcs on the arc.
Yes, yeah.
Which it looks like is what's going to happen.
Yeah, I was saying, I think you feel like there's an opportunity here to do some damage to the arc and then run before the rest of the list gets in. But tricky position. I think, don't know what Anakin's doing, but the temptation there is to barrel roll out of that range 1.
Yeah, potentially. You wonder if Anakin's going to be. I mean, if Anakin is 1 banking left, even if he bumps, he's still got 3/4 the gas power protecting him.
And he's only taking the 1 shot from the Y-wing, because although it's got veteran turret gunner, that's going to be range 3, and the turret's not going to be in. So
hello to Charles, who's just joined us in the stream as well, and Simon Tornay, who has joined us from the 1950s. Hello, Simon.
Now, this is good. I actually quite like that play from Joel. I'd have been tempted to barrel roll, but there's always a limited benefit from denying a ship on 1 ship if you're then a shot on 1 ship, if you're then going to provide another shot to shoot.
It's easy for you to say.
Yeah. So
Simon's just sent, I think, you a message for.
I'm pretty confident. Pretty confident he's talking about James Dadham.
So yeah,
See ya.
welcome to 5 rounds of in-joke.
Yeah, sorry, we'll go and keep that to a minimum. So yeah, I don't love the position Obi-Wan's in, but I think keeping him there was the right decision given where everyone else has ended up.
Yeah, I mean, threw a gas cloud again, so he's got 4 agility and an automatic evade, force there as well, which is only going to keep on defense.
Yeah.
And if he does take damage, he's got the ability to just 3 forward and get out, or 5 forward and get out next turn.
Rick went faster there, he's done his 3 bank to get his evade. So
Anakin has 3 hits, spends the long for 4 after spending 2 force. Joel is thankfully loud enough that I can hear him without the headphones. So that's 4 hits from Anakin, which Joel is thankfully putting into our dice camera.
I'm gonna touch things.
We have a larger dice camera. So I think there was 2 natural evades from Wolf, so it was 2 shields.
Not only do we have a large dice cam, but I did something on a computer.
It's the end of days, people. So that was a hit and 2 blanks from Obi-Wan, spending his luck to get a focus roll and then CLT for 3 hits.
Oh wow, I don't know if you can hear Joel on stream, but the rest of the room can. It's really helpful.
And like another natural 2 evades for Ed, I think.
So Obi-Wan
maybe 1 evade and a focus result.
spending the focus there, but using his ability to keep it.
That was what he did.
And then Rick will have 3 dice here. Not sure what Rick did as an action. He took a lock. Okay.
So it's actually used as a really nice engage from Joel. Ed got caught being a little bit aggressive there with the arc.
But that gas cloud is really helping.
It's really helping, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So hit crit from Joel. Joel is again conveniently loud enough that we don't need the dice cam. Looks like 2 evades again from Wolf. That gas cloud has helped him for 3 health. But he's going to be taking a crit here. Sorry, hit crit here.
So I think that was a direct.
Okay, fair enough.
And I can update that on here somehow.
So it's Wolf at half and on 3 health left.
So yeah.
Yeah, Dom, as I think we've mentioned, we're here doing commentary because we are, unless we start our own squadron, we're not going to qualify for this.
Oh, it's
Wolf
not great from Wolf.
Gets a reroll. Spends the charge for 2. So shooting into Obi-Wan by the looks of things. And Obi-Wan leaves with no damage. So then matchstick range 3 into Anakin.
So damage-wise, this turn looks like it's going to go in Joel's favour. I agree, nice engage. Kind of got the rewards he deserved, I think. But in Ed's favour is I'm not sure where Joel goes next.
Yeah, we think matchstick heads Dark to the
that
front.
blank out there from Annie? Oh, well, that changes everything. That very much can happen with the Jedi guys. Hard to see Joel getting a better initial engagement there, and then in the dying moments of the round, takes 2 on Annie.
From a Y-wing primary range 3. Yeah,
which are with rerolls, to be fair. But and that almost cancels out the damage done to Wolf there. And now I think the position Annie's in is really scary.
So he's either going through a gas cloud or he's hard wanting one way or the other, right? Neither of which I like.
Yeah.
So you feel like he's going to be requiring, or depending on his fine-tuned controls, to get himself out of trouble here. So I think the sensible thing you do is you probably just fully disengage, and knowing that it turns everything into the left.
So I wonder if Ed one banks the bottom 3 guys just to keep his options open a bit rather than to commit hard one way. Wolf.
Ollie in the chat, unsurprisingly, suggesting Anakin just YOLOs out of there. I'm shocked, Ollie, shocked.
Wolf. I mean, I can't see anything other than the 2 hard left here. Maybe the 1 bank left, just occupy that space.
You've got to assume Rick is going to go fast enough to get away.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. I think 5 stroke with Rick. Work it out next turn.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got a good engage. Okay, Anakin took more damage than you want, but you can fix that if you need to.
Yeah.
The sensible thing you do is you disengage and come back in for another pass. You put 6 damage into an arc. You probably initiative kill it next time you get guns on it.
With Anakin, I'd be tempted to one hard right to get him behind that gas cloud at as much range as you can get from the Y-wings, but you've got to think Wolf's going to cover that, and he's got his extra dice out the rear now.
Yeah, I'd be tempted even with Wolf maybe to one bank to the right. Just get in the way, block Anakin if he tries to escape, and now if you don't, you open your rear arc up to everything, reset your charge token.
Well, you and I do things differently. And then Obi's in a slightly funny spot as well with the gas cloud.
Yeah, you feel like both of the Jedi are taking the gas cloud this time.
I wonder if you take the risk with Annie and halve one left, and just hope
I think it's
Ed's played for the. Oh well, we definitely don't do that now.
I think it's risk reward, right? Anakin, you can't afford to have him take multiple rounds of fire while he's low on shields.
That's not a bad plan from Ed at all. Just
Broadside
covering,
just keeping his arc out.
Once you've got Annie few shields down, that regen's annoying, but you look at it as only needing to do 1 damage per turn to keep him there.
And it does do the one bank in to try and block Anakin's one turn behind the gas cloud.
I'm sorry, Ed. That's a disastrous move.
Because he agreed with me.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. I was aware of that, but I thought I'd add that. But
Ed is a much worse player than I thought he was.
Do you remember the first round where it was all friendly and we were having fun, and now it's gone mean and it's ad hominem attacks?
I mean, this round's definitely better, but maybe only because the pictures are working.
Yeah, the plus that we have video. So let's see how aggressive Joel's feeling with everyone. It's very fun when teachers are on stream because they're very adamant about the order in which everything's going to happen, how they want to do things. You're going to take this template and you're going to use this to mark this. I wonder who wears the trousers in Joel's relationship.
Things not to talk about on the stream.
It's alright, Ollie's on the stream, we can talk about him too. So Obi-Wan sensibly takes the gas cloud 5 boards away. We'll just move on, let's pretend none of that doesn't happen.
Which makes you think that everyone's doing the same thing, right?
Yeah, you've got to imagine Rick's also getting away. So just fine-tuned around the gas cloud, take a lock on something?
Yeah, I don't see any benefit of staying where you are. I mean, you can't take a lock because you've gone over the cloud.
Oh, true. Rules are a thing.
But certainly, there's no need to stay and close up there. And actually, man, this game's confusing. We go from what I think is a difficult positioning turn for Joel to actually having Obi in a beautiful position for next turn.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's now in a position where he's really starting to pressure the Y-wings. I mean, also Plo, but much more so the Y-wings, right? Because they don't love turning around. They're nothing like as fast as Obi-Wan, and he's in a position to get his calibrated laser target bullseye.
The ship ability of the Republic Y-wings of not taking crits actually makes a difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they are a little bit more tanky. So Joel barreling to block a ship that not only has moved already, but is also in a different part of the board than actually is.
I mean, I'm obviously taking the piss. I would have maybe asked my opponent to put Wolf back so I could relook at where the arcs were before I made that decision.
I think that's an incredibly good point. Joel, yeah, at this stage, just guessing where things are. Now, I think with Rick, he's got it right. I don't think Rick is going to be an arc, but you almost run the risk of just forgetting about the rear arc at all without it there on the table. I certainly had from a commentary point of view. But he's going back now, so Annie, who, to be fair, is the one who's in the most trouble. So, still got the arc forward on matchstick, which may be...
So which way does this boost? I think the boost right fits, but I don't think the boost forward fits.
I don't know if any of the boost fits. So you can't boost onto that gas cloud. Forward looks blocked. The barrel roll...
Barrel roll gets him out of close up, I think, or at least gives him distance from play.
Yeah. Does he barrel back into range one of them? No, I don't think so. That's probably as good as he could do.
So yeah, Anakin will take another shot here from Wolf, and maybe a shot from Clone.
Yeah. So, easy with hindsight, but I wonder if it would have been worth rotating the arc for Ed. So you kind of trade the ability to push real damage through with the veteran,
Yeah,
but cover more of the board.
Absolutely, for a 180 arc.
And on the flip side...
So that was Flo looking to see if he could pass his focus to Wolf. Which he could not.
On the flip side, and these comments are all, after the fact with perfect knowledge. I'm not at all criticising the players as saying they should have done this. Although
I find that much better at swing when I set my dials off and my opponent's moved everything.
It makes it much easier. And in fact, that's what my new list does. But that boost with Obi, although we were loving it because it puts him in a good position for next round. Actually,
choices,
Whereas if Obi boosted straight, Anakin would have been taking one range 3 shot this round and probably would be okay.
So that looks to be range 2 to me. I think it's just in range 1. I think it just clips the base. So Wolf will use the ability to roll 4. No mods, but still 4 dice.
Oh, and that looks quite good. Yeah.
Anakin's losing at least 1 more shield. Anakin had regened the shield, which he loses again and is out of shields. So that's half on Anakin for half on Matchstick.
Wolf.
Oh, sorry, Wolf. They look the same to me.
Okay, so Annie needs to not take damage here, basically. He's already regen 1. If he takes damage here, he's half.
And it turns out being out of range, you could pass your focus token was exactly what Flo needed.
Well, that looks like paint, but 1 cup dice there.
Spencer gets away with it. Very nice.
Nice.
I didn't think Spencer, it was 2 of 8.
That's what should happen. If you voluntarily re-roll a dice, you should get the good result.
Dice, Yeah, Dom in the chat saying that Joel's playing as well. I agree. He had a good engage, put some damage in, took maybe slightly more than he was expecting return, but has now done a decent job of engaging. This turn again will be interesting just because Flo can turn in. So if Flo turns in and Rick turns in, then Flo might also be in trouble. So it's how hard now Ed wants to pursue with his arc and arguably his Y-Wings a little bit out of position.
So you've got to think. Yeah, so Ed's got 2 choices. Either you turn Matchstick and Plo in and have the 2 of them sort of harry Joel whilst the rest of his list tries to get back around, or arguably you turn them all away, get the band back together and come back in.
I assume that Wolf is probably K-turning here to come back into the fight next turn, so maybe it's an interesting one, isn't it? I think either option is perfectly acceptable. I kind of like the turn in more just to keep pressure, especially while Anakin's probably regenning again.
Yeah, I think if you too hard them both, probably only take shots from Rick.
Luke in the chat says that he's put broadside in the sinker swarm so far, that's exactly what the world needs, right? More beef in a sinker swarm list.
Yeah, Alex Christa, one of our fellow 186 members, won a store kit, I think in Plymouth.
It was, yeah.
Last week with that exact list. I think I prefer it to Rick. I think Rick's a distraction in that list, but once
Yeah, I
people
think-
get used to him ignoring,
Increasingly, people are realising that you
Yeah.
ignore Rick and you work your way through this wall.
whereas Broadside's just a menace, more health, more attack dice, and the iron cannon. If that catches you with the rest of the swarm around, you're in real trouble.
What do you think of the new Y-wing models? Fan of them?
I like them. I think it's weird that they're longer than the other Y-wings.
Yeah.
You know, the Y-wings that are apparently the same thing just without shielding. I don't know if that's canonically correct, but it doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
But I think the model's nice.
Yeah, I think second edition they really up their game on the
Yeah,
model quality, right?
yeah, absolutely. Just going to repeat what you said. In 2.0, the models have been on point. They're all incredible. I think the only place they've dropped the ball is the guy they employ to put the pegs in the bottom is, I think, frequently drunk at work.
Yeah, I packed an RZ, whatever it's the Resistance A-Wing this morning to lend to somebody, and so I set it up to make sure I had everything, and it was like 20 degrees off centre. I'm like, what is going on with this shit?
My hand, the first ship I bought in 2.0, was sort of, it looks like he's had a stroke.
And I think Charles in the chat agreeing with us, but honestly, if that's the biggest complaint we have, right, about second edition, other than the fact that Phil is continuously still a monster in second edition.
Yeah, Phil's
the biggest
waving at us, and
Phil has his happy face on.
I'm guessing by the fact that Phil has come to talk to the stream, he's won. Not someone to advertise his losses.
Half an hour into the game and Phil's here. How do you think it went?
Okay, so back to the game.
So Eddie's coming in with the Y-Wing.
Yeah, which I think is sensible.
I think,
And they've got Broadside at least has got quite a nice turn in again next turn to kind of corral the Jedi into the corner.
So there is the 4K from Wolf.
We didn't really talk about what we think Joel would do this turn. I think Obi's just coming around the corner. And he presumably 3 banks.
Yeah, I think Anakin just continues to get, as they say.
That is a nice move. I really like that. So Ed thinking ahead there, rather than getting jammed up and left behind, he's going to be coming back in next turn. Really like that move.
Threatening Obi, if he, as we assume, is going to turn into the shield, right?
That was a lovely move.
Charles in the stream saying sometimes they forget the wash as well. I think it's because they're resistant ships, they're just newer and cleaner. It's like Storm Hand, it's all shiny and new. It's not until it gets in the hands of idiot pilots like us that they get all damaged. Yeah, Commander Cody, especially in the Sinker Swarm, is just obnoxious, isn't it?
Lloyd has acquired tea somehow.
I have acquired tea. I acquired tea at the start of the round, but not allowed to. So I'm now drinking warm tea.
So far, not impressed.
Or
I've
it's caffeine.
heard Gold Squadron. People just come up, give them prizes, food. Where's the love?
Did you not get all the free stuff when you arrived?
So slightly more conservative move there with Obi, but not a bad one. Just sort of gives him more options for next turn.
Yeah, I like the turning for play. It makes it harder for Obi-Wan to get in time, which you hit.
Yeah.
And still pressures Rick, right? Continuously pressuring Anakin, who is at half going to be regenerating this turn.
Yeah. I feel like Joel in the next couple of turns, with the good play from Ed, is just going to need a hard disengage and kind of start again.
He needs to build that force back up, right?
Yeah.
Anakin's on 2 force, I think.
So we'll see if it happens. I like a boost here from Obi because it gives him, and then I think just 5 straight next turn, get him into a corner, have a threat coming in from a different angle.
Interesting, because I think if you look at it, Wolf is a long way out. If Bo wants to do anything next turn, he's going to have to turn around, probably. I think it's a good chance to pressure one of the Y-Wings and maybe chip one down to half.
So that's interesting. I see that as flying into 2 Y-Wings and getting hurt.
If you shoot them first, they can't.
Yeah, nice 3 hard there from Rick. Looks like a pretty safe place to stay, so he probably takes the opportunity to take the shot at Plo. He's moved quicker, he's going to get his extra dice. That's probably beyond range 3 of the Y-Wing.
So it sounds like Anakin is regenerating. So put that shirt back on.
And there's a 3 bank, yeah. And looks from here like that 1 bank boost this time is going to fit and is going to get him out of trouble. So I think both players playing really nicely here so far.
Yeah, we've had obviously only a game and a half in, but we've had really good quality games. And good players playing well and interesting lists.
Joel not boosting straight away, so maybe I'm a bit overconfident with that bank boost fitting. He has got the gas cloud though, so it takes and it gives away. That thing. It's good and bad. And then I think again the boost is nice here for more options next turn, but
I think he's scared of having damage going.
Yeah. Okay, he's used spare parts to get the extra regen back. I think reasonable. I think it's taking 2 dice. He's at range 3 behind a gas cloud. Not an unreasonable time to risk not having a token. He's got 1 force left. Probably shouldn't take damage.
Joe remembering the dice cam and everything. He's like a pro. Nice. Gas cloud. Extra. Always add the extra insults.
I like to point out what a mistake my opponents made bringing the gas clouds.
So it looks like a hit crit from Rick, and Chloe's going to take
one through. That's big.
So Chloe is now crittable.
Yeah, and 1 off half. No regen on Chloe. Ed's too much of a gentleman for that.
So everyone, I assume the video quality is better now that we've dropped the frame rate. I keep saying frame rate like that's what actually happened. I'm not 100% sure. Nick came over and did some stuff and pressed the buttons. But can you just let me know in the chat that the video quality is now okay and we're not having any more problems? Cool, thanks everyone. So again, just to update in terms of points, having regen that shield, Joel's Anakin is now above half again, so he is currently 25-0 up. So it's interesting, Ed's list is a little bit strung out. I'll be interested to see if Joel's able to bully one of the ships. It doesn't feel like he's in a position to massively capitalise on it, but that 1 damage into Flo just makes Flo have to be a little bit concerned the whole time now. In terms of results from the first round, so I think 186 went 3-1 in wins and losses, played their bounty for a 4th win. Firestorm, I believe all of the Firestorms won.
Yeah, so they went 4-0.
Jared is right here with the results.
Fantastic. So we've currently got 1066 Squadron with 2 points. Bounty not played. We've got Phil. Phil Squadron, 186 Squadron. Oh, he's gonna love that. With 4 points, that's 3 wins plus the bounty. Bunker Squadron yet to record a win, but we'll see what they can do this round. Chaos went 2-2.
So it sounds like Ricky lost his game. Ricky's probably the most famous person in the squadron, I would guess. He had a really good run at Nationals a year or 2 ago.
Yeah, he's very active in the kind of Kent southeast area. Very nice guy, very fun to play against. Dead Squadron also 2-2. Firestorm storming into a lead with 4 wins and all of their bounties yet to play. Meeple Squadron 2 wins plus a bounty win, so they're on 3. Mug Squadron 2 and 2, no bounties played, and Nomad Squadron with a 1 win, but no bounties played. And then finally, and least importantly, TNX Squadron with 2 wins, bounty
You
played,
said the least important squadron.
and 3 points overall.
So I'm here running a stream saying Paul's here just for PR. And I think you'll all agree he's doing an excellent job.
Oh,
Making
and
friends with
even less importantly, because I forgot them altogether, Zombie Squadron with 2 wins, one of which we saw on stream. Meanwhile, back in Pumpland, yeah. I mean, I think we might have to delete this off the internet after that Phil Squadron slip
Just
up.
carefully stop recording this and then we'll lose all the evidence. I've got a list of everyone who's streaming so we can find them and make them disappear.
I genuinely feel sick.
You feel GC sick?
Right. Meanwhile, things are happening.
So yeah, actually Ed pulled a really nice block on Rick. So Rick is only going to take, it looks like, 1 shot from one of the Y-Wings.
So that's matchstick,
That is matchstick, isn't it?
but he's
Yeah.
going to be able to double tap. So that's 7 dice coming in with a focus and unlimited
I mean,
rerolls.
it seems fine, what's the problem?
But Rick hopefully went faster.
Rick definitely ran faster.
So Rick's just going to believe in his rerolls and his regen, I think.
Charles, why are you not here taking part in the Squadron tournament? You're active on the chat, but I forget the name of the squadron that Charles set up in his local game shop. I want to say it's D20 Squadron. Sad to see they're not here, but hopefully they'll be here for the next one.
I've also seen Charles wandering around in a Warlords t-shirt at times, I think.
Well then, he's got 2 reasons he should be here. And so next year he'll be that, Warlords and D20 and Phil Squadron, so he'll have 3 chances to enter.
There's a guy here today called Dave Cromwell who's looks very similar to Dale, but obviously not because he's not in the 186th.
Yeah, Dale is flying under false colours today.
It's better this way. We'll be less embarrassed when we fly stuff off the board.
But no less expected. Dale is the best player I've ever seen who consistently flies stuff off the table.
Is he though? So, Annie trying to sneak an arc here on the back corner of Plow. Joel wants it, but I don't think he's going to get it. Could call a judge here, but these 2 guys trust each other. Maybe call a judge after they've knocked everything and there's no way of telling.
Nick is playing Tom Force now and has the face of a man who is like, oh, this is over. I've done bad things here.
He's waving a dice at me, which I think means that he is taking full responsibility for what's happened.
I think that's acceptable.
So Plo not in arc, but he's got a downtown shot on Broadside, who is going to gas cloud his way out of it if he remembers. Surely that's through the gas cloud. So I don't know if that's a missed trigger,
I think it might be
or maybe it's not through the cloud.
Turns out it's much harder to pay a lot of attention to what's going on when there's all these screens. We're making all the other streamers look really professional and organised on top of us.
The more entertaining chat is, the less good we are at paying attention to the game.
So wait, which bit are we good at?
Okay, so no damage done so far. It's a bit of a blink shot from Rick. Actually chips a shield by the looks of things off Matchstick.
This is Rick into Wolf.
For just one.
And evaded by Wolf.
Always tricky in moments like that. Do you take the more dice or keep shooting at the thing that you've already damaged? I think there's no wrong choice. So this could be the turn that really turns it in Ed's favour.
Yeah, if you put some real damage into Rick here.
That's a good start. Looks like hit crit. Joel taking 2. So because of the 5 health and 2 regen,
So we can't
Rick-
afford to take anything else here, right?
yeah,
Which we say just as
Well-
Ed drops 4 hits.
yeah. Rick can. This is from an iron cannon though, so only 1 damage at least. But obviously, being iron would be a major issue. And there we go. So Rick isn't halved until he's dead, if he's both regen left, but he's certainly in a bit of a bad spot now because of that iron token. Phil letting us know what's going on. Looks like some major joust and dice roll stuff going on at points in the room.
Andrew Batson, famous for jousting with ties, is today jousting with tie sets. He's really up to the game.
And by the sounds of things, it's gone well for him.
Yeah, Andrew's running, I think it's 4 tie sets and an FO. And having faced it, it's surprisingly decent. It looks terrible, and as you start sort of playing into it, and you're like, oh wait, I put together how all of it works.
Yeah.
And especially against anything low agility, where I mean most of the stuff outside of aces, right? But most of the stuff in the game is 2 agility, and it's firing 2 sets of cluster missiles and then 2 sets of concussion missiles, plus an FO throwing dice around as well. All of a sudden, it starts really adding up.
I think the First Order, like apart from Scun maybe, have got the most jank potential and surprise potential of the factions at the moment. You don't see them much, and you line up against them, and somebody's taken
Some random FO player
that can give itself a crit to add 1 to Kylo's shot.
That sounds like something you have experience of.
Don't know. Couldn't possibly confirm or deny that. Just be careful if you're playing Andy Brazier, people. So, Rick's in big trouble here. The 1 bank in from Wolf, I think, clears that debris. He's going to be in range. Although actually,
Does 1 bank bring him round far enough?
yeah, I think so. And he can't barrel or anything because of the iron. So I feel like 1 bank. I think the only slight concern would be whether you block Rick, which obviously you really don't want to do.
So do you bring Obi-Wan in really fast to try and initiative kill Rick? Wolf has 3 hull. 3 bank in with Obi-Wan. So only calibrated, boost in, take a lock.
Yeah, and it should be relatively easy on the 3 bank to get him wherever he ends up.
Because Rick will be shooting as well.
Yeah, that's probably the play.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
So Rick's probably going to end up taking fire from Plo, Wolf, and both the Y-Wings if they want to. And I feel like because of exactly what you just said, you maybe just 1 bank matchstick down board here to make Obi have to think twice.
Yeah, absolutely. In the same way, Plo's almost certainly turning in to try and kill Rick. So do you then counter that and 1 turn in with Anakin?
Yeah, I think so. I think because of what happened to Rick, Anakin can't afford to run off and sort himself out in the same way. He's got his regen back, he's above half, he's full on 4, so I think it's not an unreasonable time to turn back in. The risk, of course, there is if both Y-Wings play for that,
Of course, yeah.
then you lose Anakin.
So, other question. Obviously, you can answer this once the Y-Wings are moved. Do you regen with Rick, or do you take the shot on Wolf and try and kill him?
I think it depends what other shots you've got. Yeah, it's tricky, but I think Wolf needs to go. You can't take fire from Wolf on Rick.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's whether you take the risk. If you think Obi can do it all on his own, and you want the regen to stay alive,
Risky, right? Maximum of 4 hit results.
yeah. So I think probably yes, you do.
Maximum
shoot
4 hit
with
results if you get close enough. A 3
Yeah,
flank
yeah,
boost probably doesn't bring you to range 1, so maximum 3 hit results. So Rick probably has
But
to.
it's a question of how big a risk you need to take. So I think probably Rick has to shoot, but if he's in a position where he's going to die because the Y-wings are shooting at him, and
by the regen,
yeah, then either way by the regen, or conversely, if you've got 2 Y-wing shots coming in, you think Rick might survive, but only if he regens, then maybe the only way out is to hope OB God rolls, keep Rick alive for the regen, and then go again. But I don't think Joel's in quite that desperate situation yet.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think it's one of these things with these resistance Republic lists. Once one ship goes down, then suddenly becomes much easier because they have so much less arc coverage. I think Nick, I thought, was here to tell us how it went, and as I said that, he turned around and walked away, which I think tells you everything you need to know about the next game.
By the looks of the board, I think we've got not many dead Nantex.
Dice were bad, but it was a good game. The Nantex needs to just have something done to it terribly, and I'm not going to swear on my own stream, I guess.
So we've got 1 vote for Nantex too good.
I'm not even sure if points change would do it.
Strange, given that you've just lost to them. That's your opinion.
That was my opinion before, even though I use it because I play Surface.
No, I think they're.
So Wolf is actually
they're
2-turning in and blocking Rick, which makes Rick's decision much easier. Rick will regen and try and get away this turn. Where's this here?
Where Nick's come over and we're getting a lot of criticism about how we're running the stream.
No, I'm not blaming you guys.
He was doing his daddy voice. I heard that. I'm both
What have you
confused and a
done?
little bit aroused.
Love you, Lloyd.
I'm more aroused. There's a lot of touching going on behind the stream, but I'm not really sure what's happening in the game. Paul, tell me what's happening.
Benefits of playing for the block are you remove the ability for Rick to shoot Wolf, increase the chance of him staying alive, and you know where. Well, you already know where it's going to be, but it sets up the range 1 shot from Plo quite nicely.
Yeah, it's actually done a really nice job of bringing Plo in there and guaranteeing that range 1 into an unmodded Rick. Of course, Plo is CLT, so it's only going to be 3 dives, but 3 with a lock and a force is pretty good.
The matchstick has kept the arc forward, so as we were saying, kind of a bit of a problem for Obi if he's turning in now. I didn't catch whether broadside rotated backwards or not. Obviously he loses his ability if he does that, but it gives him more than 1 shot on Rick. For me, I think if you've got a ship you know where it's going and it has the ability to run away quickly in subsequent rounds, probably want as many shots on as possible to kill it.
Yeah, so anytime you can tie down in the blue and you know where it's going to be. And Rick has indeed regen. Oh wait, sorry.
Did regen or didn't regen? I wonder if there's a question about timing there. There's no weapons to saber token, but he's got a shield. Okay.
I think I might have put the shield back on the wrong thing.
Did you put one back? Oh, no, that looks right to me. And he was already on 1.
Again, we're totally on top of this, it's all fine. Guys on Stream Rash doing a really good job of talking through what they're doing as well, which is helping Paul who's got the audio on.
So conservative move from Obi there, using the boost to come in now that he knows he's not taking that many shots. Hasn't quite got him out of arc, so again he's going to get that nasty matchstick double tap. Matchstick down to just 2 rerolls because the target lock's been moved.
But more importantly, does he say anything about fully execute?
So Joel going to do a bit of arc dodging here, hopefully on the Y-wing. I think that's the plan. I'm not sure if that back corner gets out. It's a bit tricky on the stream. Oh no, looks good. Nicely played, Joel.
So again, as I say, putting pressure onto Plo. Plo at 3 health, so potential to take him out.
Yeah, that's a really nice play with Anakin.
So I think this is probably the right shot, but also he had the option of the range 2 into Wolf.
Well, I think you're going to
He
Wolf.
already has the lock, that's why. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, blanket here, and you saved Rick. There's some paint.
So he's taking
He's a shield down already.
Crit is
Just hit
not
crit.
direct.
I think maybe you put the shield back on the plow.
So it wasn't a weapon trade, it was a console weapon.
Which didn't go off.
Ed doing the classic, always measure the bullseye even though it's miles away just in case. Sometimes physics bends the ranger on that. You're like, yeah, it's totally Ed.
He's got his reroll from his ability.
His luck.
I have his luck, sorry, I'm a ship ahead. I was thinking we were talking about Wolf. Oh, that doesn't look good.
That looks very bad for Rick.
And that's a dead Rick, I think.
So that is 46 points for Rick, scored by Ed. And the 49 scored for Joel by halving Wolf and Blow. So Joel is still up and has the potential here to put some more height into Wolf.
Only 2 dice.
Classic.
Wow,
Bendy Ranger
you were
roller.
criticising Ed there. There's some hopefulness there from John. Gentlemanly reroll, gets the deserved evade.
Again, it's not direct. We can't see the Chris from here, and frankly, we're both too lazy to go and check. So disabled power regulator. So he takes one now, he'll take another one next time he activates.
So this really still in the balance. I think good turn for Joel so far.
Yeah, again, as always, it comes down to how much Anakin takes, right? Anakin has no tokens.
Although he lost Rick, I think putting all that damage into play was really helpful. But this is potentially going to hurt. Yeah.
So it's really good. So Wolf is just really consistent.
Oh, and that looks like a very good roll from Joel.
And that is how you ace them.
was that trip evades whilst having no force?
Yeah, that's the best way to do it, right? Joel went to the Dale Cromwell school on fine, and it's working out again. But again, it's been really nicely played by both players, right? They're making each other work. They're making themselves make difficult decisions.
No shots on the Y-wings there. Not really sure where Broadside's arc is. Presumably it's backwards.
So, yeah. Just under 19 minutes left in the round.
Everyone's stopped talking to us on the chat. It's possible we've been talking to ourselves for the last 20 minutes.
Possible everyone's just turned off and had enough.
Thank you.
The table mic is actually not the table mic. The table mic is muted for you guys, but we can hear it. The mic that you have is our mic at the stream table, picking up noise in the room just because the room is so noisy. So apologies, we'll try and work on that. If not, we can mute that, but you'll just have Paul commentating, which honestly nobody wants.
No one wants. This is a compromise to get that kind of conversation between the two of us. So apologies that it's loud, but I think it's probably better than just having one person on the room.
Yeah, absolutely. And Chris Burnett has joined the chat as well, so that is now another player who's better than me. Just knocked me out of the Credits and Regional.
Chris, thank you for the recent follow as well. Saw you followed the channel. Thank you.
Sorry, there's a member of the public here talking on the stream. I don't know who that is.
Crazy wild-eyed man.
Some Welsh guy.
He's just wandering around muttering about dice.
What was the issue saying?
This might pick up a lot of ambient noise.
Yes, yes it does.
It's either that or Lloyd and I get uncomfortably close speaking to the same headset mic.
Yeah, I'm not willing to do that.
The other option is turn the game down and have it closer to you.
We'll try and fiddle with the mic between rounds and maybe cut down a bit of that background noise for you. So, interesting point in the match here. Very close on points. Joel
Joel's up by 3 currently.
Joel's got more easy points to score though, with the 2 ships being low. You've got to think if it gets down to the Jedi versus the Y-Wings, there's going to be a lot of running away with 16 minutes left.
Eddie's going to just cater the Y-Wings again and try and keep them in the fight next turn.
I think these, if they hard turn into that corner, get in each other's way, that doesn't feel great.
Yeah, especially with them having different initiatives, right? It's not easy for them to get out of each other's way.
I think if I'm Joel here, I look to get rid of the arc and then
Luke has asked a question about selectable polar patterns. Luke, I think you enormously overestimate our abilities here. Luke is a lot smarter than we are.
The microphone is black.
And it's pointed vaguely towards us. That's the limit of our knowledge. We can try dropping the gain on it, I've been told by Nick. So again, we'll try that next round to see if we can improve it slightly. So Ed, in the meantime, just turning the Y-Wings in, keeping them relevant in the fight, still able to threaten Obi-Wan in future rounds. I like this K-turn because you've got nowhere else to go, right? Otherwise you're going to stick in a corner.
Yeah. Keep that arc forward.
And of course these new Y-Wings have the 1.0 Y-Wing dial, so 1 forward, 2 forwards that are only blues.
Now, it's going to be hard for Joel to get shots on Wolf here without risking some return fire.
Yeah, Luke, in the chat, if you want to get a gauge of how skilled we are, think of us as like 2 trained monkeys in suits, except we're not in suits and we're not trained.
Sorry, I was not aware of that.
Wait a minute.
One of us is covering our eyes and one of us is covering our ears.
Unfortunately, neither of us are covering our mouths.
Yeah, never give people what they want too early.
No, it's been given time.
So I think Ed doing a good job here to keep himself in it.
So I think from Joel's body language that is a pump. Well, maybe not, just scoots around.
So what have we got? Probably looks like it's getting clipped by the arc there. Could boost in. Get that range 1, but I'm not sure he gets the bullseye. There's 2 left on Wolf. Annie probably not getting a shot unless he's slooped.
So what do you like here for Anakin?
I mean, knowing where everything is, I like the sloop.
Yeah, perfect information.
Yeah.
What would you have done?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what I would have done. I think I probably would have disengaged. I didn't think it was a sort of safe way to get in there. So Annie, I think, going to turn in and bump here, so is regenning. Oh no, banking away. Okay.
So sensible, regen for
Yeah,
shield.
yeah. And presumably here we'll barrel roll out of the arc.
Yeah, I would roll as an action, keep the force.
Yeah, 100%.
Might just boost
Okay.
the distance.
Yeah, and again, not a bad play. Maybe even tempting their Wolf to go for Annie rather than take the range one shot. Slightly risky with Anakin 2 off being genuinely halved, but you do have the chance to kill Wolf before any of that happens. And that looks like a good
See paint on
roll.
everything.
So I think you spend here, spend guarantees the kill.
Spend the focus as well.
Yeah,
to keep it
absolutely.
ready. Yeah.
Anything else seems hugely greedy.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting shot from at least one way. He's getting shot from both. But the gas can protect one of them. I think you have to.
I think
Take
that's sensible. I think that's sensible.
That guarantees more fires.
And needed it. I think that's the evade. It's always the right choice if they get the right result, right?
Absolutely. God, so much easier being good at this after with perfect information after the time.
I'd have won this game by now.
So range 3 primary from Matchstick.
Got the rerolls, but
So
no
again, super
focus
consistent.
and no iron
Everyone's
cannon.
going to be out at range 3 4 dice.
Only the one.
Because I said super consistency, that's how.
It looks like we've got the evade there.
So then last shot from broadside, and again we've probably got a round or two left. The tokens are provided by the same token, Chris Sinato. Really nice guy. Stuff's available on Etsy and they can maybe eBay as well.
Yeah, you can definitely go for it.
But yeah, like the token game in X-Wing even the last year or so is up to scale massive.
Yeah, when we first got into it, we looked around, ended up spending huge amounts of money for postage to get some Curl Paw stuff. Equally beautiful, but that was the kind of only game in town at that point. So that's Joel's now in a very strong position. He's got a good points lead. He's quicker than the Y-Wings, 10 minutes left.
Yeah, it's 18 points up. And I mean, close faces are away as well, whereas he can just fully disengage if he wants to. I don't know that he will. Joel's a bit more of an aggressive player.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'll be interesting to see which way he decides to go. I mean, Anakin might just K-turn and come back in later.
Yeah, I think because of where Anakin is facing out in the fight, that keeping Obi in, you risk one of your ships versus the whole list. I don't think you need to do that.
So if you're behind the points at this time, then it's
Yeah.
a different.
But then, I mean, the 2-bank left with Obi might be relatively safe. You're going to be able to keep that gas fed in between you and any incoming fire.
Two bank or two.
2-bank.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sort of that threat's coming from multiple directions for next turn. But I think if it's me, I 2-hard Obi, boost away.
You run the risk of maybe Poe chasing you, but again, the Jedi's quick as they are great on the turn. They have to clear stress.
Yeah. And I think you just buy yourself a turn because then you can K-turn or sleep with Annie, and then next turn at least have both of them coming back in.
Yeah, absolutely. And if Poe is chasing you and he's gunning hard for it, he's leaving the Y-Wings behind.
Yeah.
And he's down to 1 health, so Anakin can just pick him up whenever he wants to if need be.
Bit of a quiet in the room. I think it's getting to that point where everyone's
There's a lot of very
concentrating.
serious faces.
Yeah.
Pete Mason from 1066 is looking particularly serious. I mean, as he is prone to, but even by his standards, that is a serious face.
Janus with a very badly misjudged move there, flying onto a rock. Luckily, he's got struts, but I think he probably didn't know that when he played it in.
Yeah, Janus is running 2 Nantex, so again, we might try and get him on stream at some point today. His game is his 2 Nantex and 3 droids versus what I'm guessing is Boba Fett.
Yeah, and it's Neil Fote's double fire spray list. Whichever the red fire spray in is
Currently
sacked.
a single fire
Yes.
spray.
Yeah.
But you would imagine Boba is quite scary against these
Yeah.
things, right? The ability to just consistently pop stuff.
He's taken a couple of droids off the table, but there's still 5 ships left. It looks always difficult to tell, not knowing the health, but yeah, it looks like he's got the upper hand there.
In terms of rebel lists, I've seen a few. There's a Falcon floating about. I think all the Hawks have seen a Scum. There's a Luke Wedge AP5 Alpha Strike list running around somewhere. Which I think Zach is running. So yeah, there's definitely quite a few. We'll try and get a bit of diversity. We've had a lot.
Has Andrew brought the E-Wings?
No, Andrew's running TIE Seps.
Has he changing it up for the extended rounds, or I don't know?
Yeah, possible. We'll have a look. Chris, you can see all of the lists and pairings on Tabletop TO. So if there are specific lists or matchups or players you want to see, just let us know in the chat and we'll try and arrange it. This list we're seeing right now with Ed and Joel is on because we had the Y-Wings be requested last round. So yeah, if there's stuff you want to see, let us know, we'll do our best to get it. The results, because of the way we're working, it's not just a straight Swiss, so we can happily put stuff on. The most interesting list I've seen so far is probably Tom Forster's round 1 list.
Yeah, that's...
For 4 Nantex.
And, yeah, particularly the decision not to have Ensnare on Sun, or the lack of points.
Yeah, 24 points to do it, and it's more than half the price of one of the initiative 3s with Ensnare.
We only caught the end of the game, but I didn't feel too unfair.
No, I think it was a game that both players flew really nicely, and Tom's job in that game was to spend 75 minutes herding them into a box.
Yeah, and when he got them there,
which
they're in
he did,
trouble.
Yeah. So yeah, there are at least 6 Nantex here today. I'm assuming there are more, but I've seen 6 already. Across 2 lists.
I think probably in most matchups with the Nantex, you're going to have that opportunity to fire at them at range 2 or 3. And if they take damage and die, then you're good. And if they evade out,
the opening engagement, one of Tom's generics took 3 from range 3 through a rock from Poe.
Yeah.
So it does happen, right? Luke in chat says that he's after going to do something. Whatever he's doing, he's got to be less interested in listening to us. So clearly a poor choice. If you guys and the rest of the chat know Luke, feel free to call him, tell him he's making a terrible life choice, and he should reconsider. So in the meantime, Joel did do the sensible thing of disengaging Obi-Wan and Anakin away together. Ed has disengaged with Plo, presuming... I would have liked to see Plo turn around just in case, just so you have options. Because with 5 minutes left, I think Plo's going to struggle to get back in the game, but with only 1 health, maybe he's just protecting that MOV and going to try and do some damage with the Ys.
I think if Ed loses the rest of Plo, he's in trouble. But yeah, I always prefer to have them all coming in on the same turn, so...
Okay, you might lose Plo, but if you lose Plo and you kill Anakin or half Anakin, that's probably enough.
You certainly have scored more points than you've lost.
Yeah.
Gets you closer. I mean, we've got 34-point gap at the moment, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and Anakin is very nearly twice the cost of Plo, right?
Yeah.
So, actually, it's more than twice the cost of Plo.
What's the table to
5 minutes left.
It is the UK X-Wing Squadron Championships. If you search for that.
4 minutes 30 seconds.
Oh yeah. I do what I did last one, start sending the opponent's dials as my dials.
That's ruined it when they look up.
For the last round.
Do I have one of you? I've got an extra answer here. I do apologise. Hang on, let's just do that.
Okay, well, we'll talk to Dimitri and see if he can fix that. So 3 minutes left here. The Y-Wings, I think, are going to struggle to ever see these Jedi again.
Yeah, I think we've got a round or 2 left, and I think Joel's going to have done a good job of giving himself enough space and time that he's going to see this out. So I presume you're just 3 banking in, just trying to be fast? 3 quality.
These are the upcoming
I know it's one of the things, but you're able to fix that.
I think they will be until after the event.
Thank you.
So I think very nicely played by both players. And it's the key term was the
slightly aggressive walk turn, right, where he got slightly too far away from the rest of his list.
Yeah, that opening engagement, even with the 2 damage on Anakin, I think Wolf just took a little bit too much.
Two minutes.
Yeah, time checks from players, so they know that the next round is almost definitely going to be their final round.
Anakin 2-harding into a little bit of trouble there, but probably has the barrel roll available to get out of most of it. Does make next turn slightly more difficult as well in terms of keeping away from the shots. But Obi-Wan's in quite a nice place. Well, Obi-Wan's a nice place to come in, but the Y-Wings are not halfable at this stage, with one turn left.
Wait, Matchstick is, right? Matchstick's lost a shield. But why risk it, right?
So only one there from Matchstick, that's quite nice. I presume Matchstick, I've got slightly confused on which one's which. We're okay. So final round. Yeah, nice. Make your opponent check range. Just waste those final few seconds.
But again, actually, the whole game's been, in fact, the whole tournament so far, or only game 2, but has been in really good spirit. Everyone's been, like, most of the people in the room know each other, or at least know somebody in the squadrons. So everyone's been very relaxed about it. It's been very casual. Everyone's having fun, and nobody's trying to abuse anything. It's been a really good tournament so far. Yeah, it's been really fun being here at Warboard today so far. It's a really nice venue, as we said earlier. If the tournament is much bigger next year, I think we might struggle to fit many more squadrons into the room.
Yes, yeah, I mean, we're pretty full. But the format so far seems to be working quite nicely. I think it's a nice balance between, there's some team element with the matchup swapping, but relatively straightforward for them to run. There's not a sort of big pairing system, which I know looks really fun from the sort of team championships, other team championships, but it takes a long time. There's a lot of overhead.
It's not very stream friendly to have 40 minutes of watching people look at cards.
Guys, time's up.
So, scoring wise, I was under the impression that the guys are all in different pods. Is that not the case?
Yeah, so each squadron has 4 players, each player is in a different pool.
So if you use your Phantom Menace, you can swap into a different pod for that round?
For that game, but your total score, so there's bonus points here, which we'll get Dimitri to come and explain to everyone, but there are bonus points for topping your pool, and your win counts for your pool regardless of where you play it. So if you swap out to a different pool and win that game, it counts for your specific pool, I believe.
Cool. At some stage, someone will know who's winning.
Yeah.
So Annie, with that turn in, is in a bit of trouble this turn, potentially. And spread his arcs, and Annie sensibly turning away. Going to take a bit of fire here. But with the barrel roll out, focus up, I think is the play here. Gets you out of the side arc of the bottom Y-wing. You're only taking primary from the other 2 guys. That's 4 dice coming in. Ooh, okay. Well, that's far more aggressive. And presumably the focus here. So with his hand on the focus. There we are, okay. So, assuming that Y-Wing's arc is sideways, taking a bit of fire here.
Yeah, it looks like he's in range 2 there as well, so...
He's gone for the kill on Plo, which I can understand. Actually, he might get away with it. Oh, is that 2 focuses? Either in his hand, it looks like it might be. Yeah. So what we've got here, we've got unmodded. Points-wise, this doesn't help, I don't think.
He's gone for the glory.
Well, then maybe it does.
I think he's got it.
So he's just scored another...
My opponent got his bounty.
That's another 24 points for Killing Blow. There's Joel on 98. Anakin is worth 97.
So half of that, 45.
49.
So that half points has reduced the incoming shot, but hasn't made it any more difficult for Ed to win. I think the half on Anakin still wins the game either way. I think.
I think even if you half Anakin, Joel wins by 3.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'm wrong. So that
One of us is correct.
it's slightly hard. I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but the points are cut off the top of our screen when we're looking. So.
So I think as long as Anakin doesn't die here, it's okay. There's a lot of blanks
Adds his focus with broadside ability. Oh, 2 blanks. But that's the final shot of the game.
Anakin has at least a shield left. And so that concludes it. So that is 98 points for Joel, 46 for Ed. So Joel wins that one, and that is a point for 106 over Firestorm. Thanks for round 2. We're going to see what we can do to make lists open.
So we're just going to mute everything for a while, and then we'll come back to you for the next round.
10 or so minutes, 10 or 15 minutes.